Okay, so you're looking at certs and then you go to rationalize it. So 8 plus square root of 12 over 5 plus root 3. You would multiply it by the middle sign changes, so it's a 5 minus root 3 and 5 minus root 3. If I multiply this one over here, so that will give me 8 times 5, that's 40. Then 8 times minus root 3 is minus 8 root 3. Plus root 12 times 5 is 5 root 12. Negative root 12 times root 3 is minus root 12 times 3 is 36. Divided by, you square that number, always take away. So if I square that number, is 5 squared is 25. Always take away, square the root 3 will give you root 9. I can sort out the square numbers, so root 9 is just a 3. The root 36 is just a 6. The 8 root 3 cannot be simplified. I can simplify the 5 root 12. The 5 root 12, what is the square number that makes it? It's basically 5 times, the square number for 12 is 4 times 3. This number is a square because root 4 is 2. So 5 by 2, that makes it 10 root 3 then. So I'll cross this and I'll put 10 root 3. Now I can see, okay, 40 take away 6, which is 34. Minus 8 root 3 plus 10 root 3, that gives you plus 2 root 3. Everything divided by 25 take away 3 is 22. I can divide every single number by 2. Inside the root you can't divide it because you just want to divide the number. So that gives me 17 plus root 3 over 11. Good. Okay. If I look through this one, the diagram shows two rectangles A and B. Got it? Both have the same area. Rectangle A area equals to rectangle B area. So what is the area? You want to write the expression y. You want to, technically speaking, you want to make the y the subject. Okay, just the first letter. So what is the area of A? The area of A is 6 times 2w plus y. But they told you that is equal to the area of B. What is the area of B? 7w times 3y plus 6, because that's what they told you here, because both areas are the same. Let's expand this one through. 12w plus 6y is equal to 21 wy plus 7 times 6 is 42 w. I need to make the y the subject, so I will bring every single y to the left hand side. So the 6y can stay here. The 21wy is a positive, comes to the other side is a negative 21wy is equal to the 42w can stay there. The 12w goes to the other side, becomes minus 12w. I can take what common here, y common. That makes it 6, take away 21w equals to 42w, take away 12w. Well, actually I can subtract that. That gives me 30w. Certain question that you can't subtract these kind of stuff because the question will be written like that. On this one it works nice, so it's fine. Y is equal to 30w over 6 minus 21w. Okay, I can simplify this, but this would be more than enough because in the question it does not say give it in the simplest form. How, if you wanted to simplify it, what you could do if you really want to simplify the whole thing, you could kind of say, oh, well, we take 3 outside, so that makes it 10w. We take a 3 outside of that, that makes it 2 minus 7w. 3 and 3 can cancel. So technically speaking, y is equals to 10w over 2 minus 7w. Okay, but this would be more than good enough for an answer. This is okay. Okay, that's fine. You don't worry about simplifying it. Cool. Okay, moving on. Cumulative frequency. Remember, whenever it's a cumulative frequency, it's the last digit. These are the ones that you draw with the cumulative frequency. Not if it was written frequency, then you had to write cumulative frequency. But remember, it's okay. It's already written cumulative frequency for me. 5 and 4, 5 and 4 is here. Cool. 10 and 11. 10 and 11 is somewhere there. Yep. 15 and 24. 15, 24. Sorry. 15 and 24 is here. 20 and 34. 20 and 34 is here. 25 and 38. 25 and 38. 30 and 40. 30 and 40 here. It's going to look like a very smooth S shape. Okay. Okay, now to go to the 40-ish bit. There you go. Okay, you don't need to connect the first one, but you can connect it if you wanted. Right, use the graph to find an estimate for the median. Median is Q2. Remember, Q2 means median. What is the formula? N over 2. N is the total number of things, which is 40 here. 40 over 2, which gives you 20th. So I'm going to see where the 20th value is. Okay, this would be there. For me, it's here. All right, that's 12.5, 13, 13.5 for me around that point. 13.5 centimeter. Okay, you might get a slightly different answer, but the answer will not change dramatically. Okay, so within a range is fine. Next one. You're working out g f of 1. So first of all, always work out the second one, f of 1 first. Okay, not the first one is g, the second one is f. So always the second one, f of 1. What is f of 1? 3 bracket 1 squared plus 1. That makes it 3 times 1 squared is 1. So that's plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now I have to do g of 4 now. 4 over 4 squared. What is 4 squared is 16. That makes it 1 over 4. Then if I simplify it, you want to do hx. Hx is actually fg, but inverse of fg. Let's do the fg first. If they tell you fg of x, how do you do fg of x? That's the first thing to do, because h is fg inverse, technically the whole thing inverse. We'll do that later. Let's do the fgx first. Okay, fgx, how to do something like this? You always write the first letter, which is the f, with the bracket. F is written as a bracket, so it will be written as, if you look at it, 3, not x squared, bracket squared plus 1. The first letter is written with the bracket whenever you see the x, like, you know, the two functions there. Then the second function, which is the g here, will go and sit inside the bracket. 4 over x squared. If I do that, 3. If I square that what does I give you? 4 squared 16. X squared squared is x to the power 4 plus 1. If I do that, that makes it 3 times 16 is 48 over x to the power 4 plus 1. That is my fgx. But h is actually fg inverse. So I need to do an inverse of this. So how to do an inverse of this thing? Because this is, let's assume this is y equals to. How to make an inverse? You make the x the subject. Let's see how that works. So you got y is equals 48 over x to the power 4 plus 1. Move the plus 1 to the other side because you're trying to make the x the subject. Y minus 1 because 48 over x to the power 4. We could kind of like put a bracket and swap the x to the power 4 with that one. So x to the power 4 comes here. 48, and on the bottom you get the y minus 1. If I keep doing it, x is equal to root it to the 4, 48 over y minus 1. But I can't write this as the inverse, so the fg, the whole thing inverse, is actually root of that 48 over not y minus 1, it's actually x minus 1 is what you got written. And that is the same thing as h. So that's your finalized answer. Okay, just that would do. Okay. The next one. Turning point. Okay. always like to write x squared x and number. So minus 3x squared first, plus 18x, okay, plus 9. What should I take common? Remember, the minus 3 is there. Take the minus 3 outside. Y is equal to minus 3 is outside. I'm not going to worry about the 9. Just minus 3 for the first two. The x squared and x is enough. X squared. If I take minus out, this also becomes negative. Then only I can do negative, negative to make positive 18. That will make it 18. And if you take 3 out of that, will make it 6x. Close a bracket, plus 9, it can sit there. Normally in this question you can actually take 3 out of from the 9, you can kind of factorize the 3 out of it, but certain question you might not be able to different numbers, so this is always the safest way. Y is equal to minus 3, keep it outside, bigger bracket. Let's kind of do, so the x squared minus 6x, let's do the completing the square. Small bracket, x minus 6 becomes 3 squared, always take away 3 squared makes it 9 plus 9. Let's expand the bigger bracket. Y is equals to minus 3 little bracket x minus 3 squared. Minus 3 times minus 9 is plus 27 plus 9. Y is equal to minus 3 x minus 3 squared. 27 plus 9 is 36. And they want the turning point. What is your turning point? Your turning point is, it won't be minus 3. It will be a positive 3 and then whatever this number is. So positive 3 and then 36. That's your turning point. Iteration. Okay. So let's sort out my numbers first. They want x1, x2, x3. Okay. How to get x1? What's the formula saying? Okay. If you look at the formula here, cube root 10 minus 2. What? What do we start with? 2 of, I'll put in a bracket, x naught. x2. How to work out x2? Cube root 10. Take away 2 bracket, because it's x2, this would be an x1 here. Next one, x3. So cube root of 10, take away 2, because it's x3, it will be an x2 here. I can work out the answers now. Okay, all I got to do, I need to type what number, x naught first. Okay, remember x naught is what? 2. So I put 2 in my calculator, good, and press the answer key. And then I will write cube root of 10 minus 2 bracket answer, and you press equal sign. If I press the equal sign, it will give me the answer for the x1. It will give me x1 is actually giving me what, 1.817120593. You got to write everything. Okay, and the next one, press another equal sign. 1.85318.496. Okay, press another equal sign. 1.846265953. And those are the answers for x1, x2, x3. Remember, the method marks is very crucial here. Okay, cool. You can write it there if you wanted. Is it supposed to be looking like that? Yeah, why not? What does it say? Xn plus 1 is equal to cube root of 10 minus 2xn. So x is equal to cube root of 10 minus 2x. Don't worry about the n plus 1, or don't worry about the n. Just write it like that. The cube root go to the other side, becomes cubed. So x cubed equals 10 minus 2x. Bring everything inside to the left hand side. X cubed plus 2x, because minus 2x becomes the other side, plus 10 becomes minus 10 equals 0. If I compare it now, if you look at this guy, a is what number? A is 2, b is just a minus 10, and that should do. Maybe not. So if you look at it, p is minus 6, so it's technically minus 6 on the x coordinate, and y coordinate 0, so I'm not going to write it. In here, q is 0 here, and on the y coordinate is technically 3. Don't know how many here. We'll work out how many here. Okay. P to q is 2 is to 3. Okay. So what we're trying to say, from here to here, it is a 2 part, and from here to here is a 3 part. How far is this? This is 6. Okay, how do I make it a 2 part here? If 6 is 2 part, then technically 1 part means 3. okay, because that 6 divided by 2, that makes it 3 each part, but I got 3 here, so that makes it 3 times 3, that makes it 9. So from 0 it needs to go to 9, so it will go to 9 here. From here to here it will go as my 2 part, but it's a gap of how much is high, going in high, so 3. So if I do this one, and I'll say, okay, that's a 2 part P to Q. Okay, so 2 parts. So 3, how to get 2 parts? So you do 3 divided by 2, that means each part is 1.5. From Q to R is actually 3 part. From Q to R here, that is 3 parts. So 3 times the 1.5 that we worked, which is 4.5. So I just go to add it to this 3 at 4.5, that gives me 7.5. So what's my coordinate for R? If I read my coordinate for R, it will read it as what? 9 and then 7.5. Okay, X and Y coordinate. Next one. The equation of a line that is perpendicular to L and passes through Q. So when you want to work out an equation of a line, there are two things. There's a gradient, M is what you want, and there is a coordinate that you need. The coordinate, they automatically told you it needs to go through Q. So what is Q though? Q is 0, 3. Okay, got it? And it must be perpendicular, remember the word. Perpendicular to L. Do I know the gradient of L? Let's see. The gradient of L, remember, is change in Y over change in X. Okay, so a couple of coordinates. Let's use a P and Q coordinate. Let me write it here. Don't worry about this. Okay, we'll write later. P. This is what you need, by the way. I'll just highlight this. P coordinate is minus 6, 0. Q coordinate is 0, 3. Okay. How to do change in Y? So 3 take away 0 divided by change in X. 0 take away minus 6. 3 take away 0 is 3. 0 take away makes it plus, so that's 6. That makes it a half. So the gradient of L is a half, but we don't want the gradient of L. We want the perpendicular to L. So remember, it's a normal one. Okay, because it's the equation of normal, so the gradient now becomes, you do the negative reciprocal. It's a positive, so this becomes negative. 1 over 2 becomes 2 over 1, which is basically a 2. So minus 2. What's the common equation? Y equal mx plus c. Y equals to m is what? Minus 2x plus c. You can substitute this coordinate, but you will automatically know it goes through the y-intercept, so c should be 3, but we'll just substitute it anyways. Y is 3. Minus 2 times x is 0 plus c. But when they cancel, c is 3. The equation is y equal minus 2x plus 3. That's your finalized answer. All right. Good.